Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I am feeling personally, and I feel as though maybe a lot of you are feeling this way. And I asked that I deliver a message today geared towards that. It was actually the first time that I have um, intuitively asked that this video be for me personally, although I feel as though like all of the videos are, because I'm learning and growing and awakening and evolving just like everyone else. So how I've been feeling lately is I've been feeling I guess a little overwhelmed. I feel as though I just have a lot on my plate right now, and I know that I'm not alone. And I know that like a lot of people also feel the same way, because I can see it even in my immediate family. I can see it in a lot of people around me. And which is like nice on one hand because I don't feel alone, but on the other hand, it just because everyone else is just as busy or just as overwhelmed or has just as much on their plate doesn't really like help what's on my plate. And I understand that we're in a time of change and we're in a time of evolving, and we are kind of like in the midst of the storm of change where like old things are leaving, but they're kind of still here and new things are coming in. So there's kind of like this overlap, and that is really what I'm feeling right now, is like this overlap. And so I just asked for, you know, an inspired message for that. And how I feel is though, oh, Lorenzo wants to say hello. Come here. Come say hello. Say hello, Lorenzo. Say hello. I had to be in the video. Okay. How I feel is that all of the messages that have been delivered right now, especially recently, especially the messages of finding joy and of raising your vibration, are particularly important when you're feeling overwhelmed and you feel like you have a lot on your plate. When you feel this way and you feel like, well, how could I possibly do anything fun? How could I possibly be spending the energy to find joy right now? I have so much to do. I have so much on my plate. There's so much going on. It is during these times that it is the most important. It is during these times that you must really, really anchor in and anchor down from within. That grounding is super important right now, and just taking things as they come and truly being in the present moment. And when you're feeling overwhelmed and you have a lot of things on your plate, like, it is so important to bite things one bite at a time and to take things moment by moment. And a lot of times when you're feeling overwhelmed, that feeling comes from being wrapped up in the future. That feeling comes from your thinking mind worrying about things that aren't your worry right now. And if you were to break things down into kind of like a to-do list of and organizing it in, in priority for the timeline that you're on, for the time that you're on. So time-wise, not exactly priority of what the things are that are most important, but in priority of time. What's next? What do I deal with next? And when you organize things that way, you are able to take things moment by moment and chunk by chunk. You need to chunk it down in time priority, not exactly of importance. So you can make a list and then organize it, where you get everything out, you can, if it helps you mentally, to start with the most important things, but then, just mind dump a list of everything that you have going on and everything that needs to be dealt with and everything that needs to be done. And then take a second look at that list and organize it in the order of time. What is the very next step that I need to take? What is the very next action that needs to happen? What is the very next task that needs to be crossed off the list? And when you do that and you organize it, keep that list, because then you will then know that you have down on paper everything that's going on and everything that you need to do, so then you can put that out of your mind. You know that you have a system, you know that you have a plan, and you know that all of your tasks are on paper, where you can, or put in your phone, you can physically go and look at it and see and say, okay, this is my next task. I worry about nothing else except for this next task. This is next up on my plate. Okay, and then once you check that off, and you're like, okay, this is next up on my plate. And you can go down the list and chunk it down in that way. And this way you're making things more manageable, not just in a way of eating things one bite at a time, but in a way of knowing that you are checking off the list for the most time-sensitive things. And then this way you can help to manage that overwhelm. Another thing is to really, really go deep into your practices and to not sacrifice your non-negotiables. I can't preach this enough. Personally, something was on my mind last night that of course popped right into my mind this morning, and I felt that frustration coming on, that like, I have so much to do. And my meditation and breath work, which are things that I do every single day, those practices came in so handy this morning. Through my meditation, I was really able to bring myself into the moment. I was able to get a really good clearing and grounding practice in, and I just allowed myself to go within and to go back to the truth, to go back to that oneness, to go back to that. I'm not saying this in a bad way, but I'm just how small I am compared to the universe, to the divine, to God. And I don't mean that in a way of negating myself or negating what I'm going through, but it's that zoomed out perspective that allows you to process those emotions and to not hold on to those emotions of frustration, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed and to really get wrapped up into your life and what's happening. And then, everyone meditates differently, but one of the best parts of my meditation is when I drop my identity, I drop the physical world around me, and I imagine it in different ways sometimes, but usually it's like a cosmos kind of way, and I just imagine myself and my body and soul just melting into the cosmos and just taking a few minutes to just be one with the universe, because that is the truth. We are one with the universe. There is only one consciousness. There is only one creative energy that has created every single thing. And when you allow yourself to drop into that oneness and to just allow and just to be, it's not meant to be an escape from this world, although it does feel like a little break. It is implementing into your subconscious, into the back of your mind, the truth, that oneness, the truth that this, that this reality is a simulation, that you are everything and time doesn't really exist and this life doesn't really exist, and you're just here to learn and evolve and have experiences. And when that daily practice of implementing that really allows you to carry that throughout your day without having to have it in the front of your mind and think that when every single task comes up for you, because we're here to have human experience. So we are here to go through life and to deal with tasks and deal with what life comes to us. And it is just, when you have that piece of oneness, when you have that piece of truth in the back of your mind and in your heart, that allows you to move through life with ease and grace. And, you don't want to ask for an easy life, because when things are easy, there is no growth, there is no evolving. But you can ask for things, you can ask to move through things with ease and grace, and you can ask that you have the tools to deal with anything that comes your way, and you truly do. Within you, you have every single tool to do everything. Now, when I talk about how amazing my meditation and breath work was this morning, and how it literally changed my mood from being agitated and frustrated, like up 6 o'clock this morning, like straightening up my room, you know what I mean? And trying to throw things out. Like, it's like, it allowed me to let go of that. Once I was done my meditation, before I even did my breath work, I just felt 1,000 times better. I just felt that things were in perspective, and I felt that I could do it, and that I didn't have to have these emotions of frustration and agitation, and that everything was working perfectly and everything was unfolding perfectly. There is enough time in the day for me to do everything that I need to do, and I don't need to sacrifice anything. Because, with a lot on your plate and overwhelmed, you start to think, okay, well, something's got to give, so what's going to give? What's going to go? And the first thing that I want to go is my job. I'm like, But then, like, do I sacrifice the job that allows me to live right now? Do I sacrifice doing these videos, something that is honestly the best part of my day and I just love so much? Do I sacrifice spending time with people I love? Do I sacrifice my wellness practices that are like the only thing keeping me from completely spiraling right now? It's like, no. You're not, just when things get hard, you don't cut things out. Like, okay, maybe if you have like a couple extraneous things that are draining your energy that you can cut out, okay, you can cut those out. But when you start to look at things and you're like, well, nothing can go, that is when you have to go within and trust that you have the tools to move through this time. And I talked about, I think it was yesterday, I don't know, or the day before, about asking for help. So yes, and I'm going to do it on camera right now. I'm going to ask the divine angels, guides, ancestral guides, spirit guides. I ask you to help me and to help anyone else that is feeling overwhelmed right now, that is feeling as though they have so much on their plate that they don't know where to begin, and that they don't know if they're going to be able to chew through all of what is on their plate. I ask you to be with us. I ask you to help bring us back to the truth. I ask you to bring forth the tools that we need to move through this time. And most of all, I ask that we move through this time with ease and grace. And I ask that you let it be easy, and I ask that you let it be fun. And so it is. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And our message for today, I will definitely be heeding this message, and I will definitely be making that list. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in and giving me your time and attention. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you soon.